Good morning and welcome to The Early Bird, the podcast where we sit down with entrepreneurs right here in Center Wellington and we learn about the journey they went on to get here, the wins, the losses, and the lessons learned across the way, along the way. And today, in today's episode, I'm sitting down with Sarah, the owner of Flora Urbana in downtown Fergus. Thank you so much for sitting with me.
Thank you for having me. Super early on a Monday.
It's super early, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I know that you're just so excited to be here. This episode of The Early Bird is brought to you by Two Birds Marketing. Two Birds Marketing is a local marketing company, not one of those big guys in some big city, but someone here who knows your clientele and knows you. If you're looking for a marketing partner who wants to sit down with you, who wants to learn about your business and really try and get your audience, give us a call. Check out our website, twobirdsmarketing.ca. Alrighty, are you ready to get started?
I'm ready to get started.
I've been thinking about this beginning for so long. It's time for the plant tier list. I've prepared a tier list. Do you know what a tier list is?
Sure.
Are you familiar with tier list? Have you seen something like this before?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, so a tier list is when you rank things.
Okay.
S is like absolutely the best.
Top tier.
Like top, exactly.
I got it now.
You got it.
Yeah, okay.
And you're gonna get it.
Okay.
A is next best.
Yep.
B, C, D, F.
Fail.
Fail. Bad tier, right?
Okay.
We don't want that. And you're gonna rank plants. So I've prepared common plants, and you're just gonna rank them. You're gonna put them on the tier list. I've brought a little bit of tape with me. All right, so first one.
Fiddly fig. Ooh. Dramatic plant.
Fiddly fig is a dramatic plant?
Yeah, I think so.
Why do you say that?
Because they don't like tap water, they get crispy leaves, they're like the attention-seeking plant.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna rank it a C. Not terrible because they look nice.
They do look nice.
So long as you can care for it good, you can have a nice plant.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Philodendron. Well, there's tons of different types of philodendrons. So this is very generic. But overall, top tier.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is it a top tier?
Because these are like the backbone of where we started. So we were like importing very rare philodendrons that you're not typically getting in local greenhouses.
Really?
Yeah, and there can be ones that are like extremely rare, and then they have these crazy foliage on them, but yet they're still easy to care for.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I do this.
Yeah.
Okay. S tier. Oh my gosh. Here you go.
Pothos. They're like the OG of like houseplants, I feel like.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who has these plants in their home?
I feel like everybody does.
Everyone?
Everybody has a pothos.
The thing is, I think that people aren't as familiar with
Names?
Yeah. I go to the garden center or whoever, or your store.
Okay.
I'll buy the plant. I will never again, they'll tell me the name when I buy it.
And you'll never remember it again.
That will be the last time I ever hear the name of that plant, you know?
Okay.
So this is very popular.
Yeah, popular, easy, super easy. I'm gonna put it as like top tier.
Oh my gosh.
And again, there's
lots
of different like varieties of those. Oh, wow. Different colors, different shapes.
I didn't know.
You just hang them in a window and they're good to go.
Okay.
I mean, feed them. Oh, this is tough.
You can't give S to everything. Everything can't be S tier.
Snake plant. Again, a great plant.
Again, great plant.
Easy to care for.
You can go back and you can.
Okay, I'll just do B for that one. Like they're good.
This is A tier.
Oh, sorry, A. Okay.
S is the highest. You can put it wherever you want. Don't let me tell
A.
you. Okay.
Because again, they're like easy to look after, and I always recommend them to people who are like, I just need a plant that's easy to care for and something I could almost forget about. Great plant.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. If at the end of this you want to rearrange,
okay,
if you're
maybe I'll move that one there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next up on our list. Oh shoot.
Spider plant.
Great plant.
They are good.
Okay.
They're not like my personal favorite, but a lot of people have came in to buy them. And like I've brought like even just in the past couple weeks, I brought a few in and they always sell out. Easy to propagate, so they're...
Why do people like them so much?
I think because they're just an easy plant.
Really?
Yeah.
They're an easy plant?
Yeah. I'm going to put it in C.
Yeah, in C.
Just because it's not my personal favorite.
It's not your personal favorite. Yeah. I love that. Alrighty.
Peace lily.
Great.
No, we could do... Great plant, but like, not my favorite again.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
Why not?
They're just like meh.
They're meh?
Yeah. They don't do anything for me.
Just because, why? They got little flowers on them?
They do have flowers on them.
In the picture they do.
Yeah, they typically do have flowers, but just put it a D.
You're going to put a D tier?
Yeah.
All right. Get in there. Alrighty. Are you happy so far with like how it's distributed?
I think so.
Okay. Alrighty. Next up.
Monstera. Specifically the Deliciosa.
I just found a list online. Okay. I just was going with what I found. You can do it broadly or that specific one.
A good plant. Again, not my favorite. They're super prone to thrips, and I hate thrips.
What's a thrip?
It's a type of pest that's like very hard to get rid of.
Oh.
And these plants attract them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so.
I'm going to give it a B.
You're going to give it a B here. Okay.
But people always seem to come back for them.
I mean, are they big?
They can get big.
As I'm looking at it in the picture, it looks very large.
A lot of like, I saw one here actually.
Oh, really?
Behind the curtains, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They get big in size, so I think a lot of like people have them.
Because they're just so impressive.
They're good like a space filler and stuff, yeah.
They look really cool. Like, I feel like, as someone who doesn't know about plants, if I was thrown into a plant store, I'd be like, that one's big. You know what I mean? Like, I would be impressed by the size of it, you know? Let's get that one for the office, you know? Ooh, is there a difference between like a great plant for an office versus a great plant for home, or same?
I feel like if it's in the office, it needs to be pretty hardy because I feel like it's always going to get forgotten about.
Neglected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. ZZ plant.
Is that actually what it's called? Because
the real like the full length of the name is like something with a long Z that I cannot pronounce.
Okay.
So shortened ZZ
is what people call it. Okay.
Yeah. Great plant.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Again, like a pretty hardy.
Great office plant?
Great office plant.
Great office plant, ZZ plant.
Yeah, thrives in low light or bright light. Hardly water it. Yeah, because it's got like a bulb or like a tube almost, so they like retain a lot of moisture, and so they don't need a lot of water.
See, this is the thing I want to hear when I'm buying a plant.
Yeah.
I want to. But you're.
Yeah, because I don't if this was my tier.
This is like if we walked into your home.
Oh, yeah. It would be down.
Okay.
They don't really serve me.
They don't really give you joy.
Yeah.
No. Nothing's made it in the F tier so far. I guess.
Because I can't hate plant. Okay, and I'm not saying that F is like hating a plant.
No, but like, I don't know.
They all
what do you think?
possess some qualities.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Second last.
Aloe vera.
Aloe vera.
I don't even consider them a plant, even though they are.
What do you mean you don't consider it a plant?
I feel like they're more of like, I guess it's like a succulent, but like.
Is not a succulent a plant?
Yes.
This is a plant.
Yes, I know it's a plant, but it's like, I would never own one.
Why? Why not? Oh, yeah, this poor aloe vera is listening to you, crying over there.
Because I feel like when I think of aloe vera, I think of like
cream
and like maybe like childhood memories. Put on some aloe vera on your sunburn.
I had one, and one time I tried to do the thing where you like chop it, and I could never make it work. It just was a giant mess.
I'll just give it a D.
Okay, yeah. Stupid aloe vera. What a dumb plant. Hate
Don't
you,
say
aloe vera.
that. No.
Is that like, would you say, before we get to the last one, would you say there's anything here that like, it's a hot take? You're like, oh yeah, people love their ZZ plants.
No, because honestly, like so many people come for different things. Like some will specifically be like, I want a ZZ plant.
I came in for
I came in for one, yeah.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
Does this reflect popularity in purchase, do you think?
Maybe a bit, I would say, but not totally.
Not totally?
Not totally.
Okay.
Not totally.
All right, last plants.
Did you get one of my favorite plants?
I don't know. Didn't?
No, my favorite species is a Hoya.
I'm sorry.
Remember the ones that you came in and you saw with the funky leaves?
I do remember that. That was cool.
Jade plant. I'll give jade a C.
Give it a C?
Lots of different species, and they actually, have very different like looks to them. So there's some really nice ones.
I know Lauren really likes these kind of plants. Yeah, I'm really can't believe we just gave it a C. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So our winners, who are, I can't even pronounce this one.
Philodendron.
And?
Pothos. And then runner-up, a snake plant.
Snake plant. And I felt like when you were putting in there, you were considering.
Yeah.
But you just didn't because I guess there was just 2 there. Everything else was empty.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Wonderful. Thank you for.
Thank you. That's fun.
And that was. And that was rank your plants. Alrighty. That was really fun. Thank you for humoring me there. But the podcast is mainly about entrepreneurship.
Yep.
And the journey that you took to start this business. Because we all know that for you to make something a reality, you don't just think it and it appears in front of you. You put lots of time and energy and late hours invested into it. So what I would love to do is, I would love to hear from you, is basically the story of how we got to the storefront. Okay. So let's rewind in time, far back in time, before it was a flower shop, when it first started as a seed.
Yeah.
Plant of seed.
Yeah. And when it germinated.
Oh my gosh, okay. That's perfect, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then walk us through it.
Yeah, so basically 2020, 2021, when I was on maternity leave with my son, I've always had an interest in plants, specifically houseplants. And there was one plant I really wanted. And when I went to go see how much it was like a very, very expensive plant. Wow. And mind
you, where were you buying it from?
Online.
Okay.
And so I got thinking, why is this plant so expensive? And then I did some investigation and I said, well, these plants are native to this country, or they have like an abundancy of these plants in, Asia, for example. So then it got me thinking, well, maybe I could buy some overseas and potentially
cut out the
middleman here and potentially, buy a couple more to like offset all the other costs associated with bringing it here.
But did you have a plan of like, what am I going to do with like these, like how many would you have to buy?
Well, because like shipping costs from like Indonesia, for example, is where I went. I just was like, okay, I'll buy like 15 plants.
Oh my gosh. What was your plan to do with the other 14?
And then I was like, I'll sell them. I was on these like Facebook groups, right? Of like plant people.
Okay.
In the area and in like Toronto or like the GTA. So then I started investigating what it takes to bring plants from overseas into Canada. Okay. And then through like investigation, it's like, okay, like we need permits, we need phytosanitary certificates.
You need a permit just to bring in 15 plants from
another country.
And that didn't make you go, I'll just buy it online.
No.
That didn't make you say, I'll just buy it.
I said, well, I'm at home. I'm,
got this new baby.
I got endless time, right?
That's what they say new parents have, endless time.
So I said, I'll start the process and see how it goes.
Wow. Does it cost money to get a permit?
Yeah, you have to like apply for the permit. You have to get approval for the permit. You have to submit some documents and things like that. And that truthfully was the easier part. The hardest part was finding a reputable seller overseas.
Is that a big problem?
Yeah. A lot of like scammers, a lot of, so I said, you know what? I'm going to go through Etsy because Etsy, they have some sort of buyer protection. Okay. I ended up getting scammed on the first order of plants.
So what did you order?
I ordered like some philodendrons and some anthuriums.
And then what was the information about the buyer? Like it looked normal?
It looked legit. And then they didn't ship me some of the plants, and it was just kind of a mess, basically.
But they did send you
They did send me some plants.
So there were plants.
But it was very not what I thought I was getting.
So what happened when you reached out to
them? I was like deceived, I guess, because they'd like post pictures of this plant, like, it was a nice big plant, and then it comes here and it's like this frail little plant that has no roots, No.
So like, what happened when you reached out? So did you reach out to them? You're like, hey, these aren't the plants?
Yeah, and then they said, oh, well, try going through like the Etsy system, and then so Etsy kind of handles it from there.
Oh, shoot.
And then after, it was like, okay, lessons learned. Let's get some reviews first from like real-time reviews, right?
Okay.
And then so like through that you establish and you find some suppliers, and I did find some suppliers, and over the years I've used different suppliers along the way. You know, and now I have one specific supplier I go to, let's say in Indonesia, and he helps me. You know, he might not have a plant, but he's sourcing his through his
networks.
His networks.
That's so interesting. So you have a plant guy in Indonesia?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Topan.
Topan?
Yeah.
Shout out Topan. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So is that where, like, so if I go to Terra, or if I go to the garden center at like Canadian Tire, are they reaching out to Topan too?
No, they're typically like a Florida market. Florida's probably the largest, I guess, wholesaler to the Canadian market.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it just because they're just so, I guess, warm climate, you can grow almost anything there?
Yeah.
What do you, so are there plants that you can only get in, or is like, it's just become so readily available, you can get plants anywhere, any kind of plant anywhere?
There are still obviously some super rare plants that don't exist here.
Right.
But like as like COVID time, like it was like a peak, like people wanted plants.
Right,
it was a huge market, and it helped like, you know, I took additional time off, you know, not going back to work selling plants.
I got to deal with my plant business.
You know?
Did you tell your employer at the time? You're like, sorry.
Yeah, so I was originally planning to do a year off, and then I extended it to a year and a half.
And you told them the reason was for the business?
No, I just said, you know, more time.
Oh, man.
And they were fine with it.
They were fine with it.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
So then from there, it was like I had this online gig going on. So I had a website built, and I was doing all my sales online and through like different Facebook groups and things like that. And it was great, you know, and it was like one dream I hit it, right? Like I hit that accomplishment, and I was like, what's next, right? So then 2 years ago, I guess it would be approaching 2 years. You know, I was doing this in a spare bedroom at my mom's house in a grow tent, right? Housing 150 plants. And she's like, Sarah, hey, I need these plants out here, you know, like my house is not a grow tent.
You can't just have all these plants in my home.
You know, shout out to Mom for letting me have these plants there for a few years.
That's so funny. Shout out moms.
Yeah. And then, so I was like, you know what, I want to put up a greenhouse. I like the idea of having a greenhouse, and then potentially having, you know, like a greenhouse for people to come into.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, you know, May of 2024, put up this greenhouse, started, you know, slowly getting it ready, and then eventually it was like I could bring in so many different plants, and by that point I was like bringing plants in from Peru and sometimes Mexico and things like that. So yeah.
So if this one, you've moved, Topan. He's like the guy you get plants from that area. And now you're networking in other areas as well.
Yeah, so I have a supplier in Peru, and actually I went to Peru.
For plants?
Yeah, so I went to go see his greenhouse,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, where he's keeping his plants.
You love plants that much, like you care that much about.
And for me it was like, I went to Peru, I got to see them in the wild. Like they're true, you know,
really?
Living space. Yeah.
Did you feel like it was like in a movie, like it was like in a rainforest, and it was like animals running around, and he was like, this is my plant, you're gonna get this, and you were like, really?
Yeah.
What are the questions you asked for quality control at that point? Oh, is it all natural? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you say?
The biggest thing it's a very like pretentious market, I would say, like, and pretentious people of like, you know, there's all this talk about poaching plants, especially rare plants. Yeah, because you're like removing them, like, and they can be over cultivated, right? And so for me, it was like important that he's doing his best practice to like preserve what's in nature, right? So whether that be, you know, you're growing some and then you're like reproducing these plants.
Really?
And so he also has, you know, part of the aeroids or tropical houseplants, he's also doing orchids. And they do like in vitro orchids. So they're like multiplying orchids by the hundreds using an in vitro method.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you were saying you went to go check it, I imagine that you were like walking into a jungle, but they must have like a whole operation.
Like he has a full-blown greenhouse. Wow. He has all his plants there. You know, he's getting seeds. He's hybridizing plants.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so I guess his job, he's working with people like you.
Yeah.
All across.
Yeah. He's also just selling into the U.S. as well. But the U.S. is a bit easier because you don't need a permit to import plants.
Really?
Yeah. But in Canada you do.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe our rules are just a little more strict. Yeah.
That's so interesting. So you've got you were saying primarily 3 different places that you...
Right now it's primarily just Peru and Indonesia, just because they have more of the plants that I'm looking for. I would like to get into a bit in Thailand as well.
Are buyers that like when a buyer comes into your store and they're looking for a plant, do they ask questions like, did this come from Florida? Or like they're like, you know what I mean?
Not
like,
at all.
No,
not at all. Because it's like the whole idea was I wanted to grow it in the sense of like, I don't just want to be an online store.
Yeah.
I want to have a storefront. And always in the back of my head, I had that like, I love like communities and I love that whole like, let's all work together as small businesses. Yeah. You know, I have some ladies across the street, they're like, let's do something together. All of the businesses downtown Fergus.
Really?
Let's collab. Let's all do something, you know, in the spring or the summer. And I just love that. I love being involved in that way. And so for me, I had to diversify a little bit. And now at the store, it's primarily like just your trending tropicals and the average houseplant because it's such a niche market with like the rare, you know, plants.
Right.
They're specifically targeted to like collectors. They're like, I'm looking for that specific plant.
Really?
Yeah.
So you'll probably have some specific people come in who will be like, I was looking at all these big greenhouses and none of them had this thing, but you do.
Or they're just like, I want that specific Hoya, and then they'll see it and then they'll come in.
And they'll get it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your store, people can buy everything that you have in your store online as well.
Some. I need to get better at
updating
the website. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a challenge working a full-time job plus this,
plus
being a mom.
Yeah. I know. These are all easy things you can just do.
I know.
So I guess back up to when you at the stage where you've got all these plants in the home, in your mom's home, and you're just like selling them. Were you just like delivering them to people's doorsteps?
No,
like
I was shipping them.
Oh.
Yep.
Did you sell them just as seeds?
No, like
you can ship a plant?
Yeah, full plants. Yeah.
It doesn't get destroyed in the like...
If you pack them carefully.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did you ever get like buyers who never send them back being like, this thing was all...
I always made sure like if anything was to happen, like I'll take the loss, right? Like if something were to happen in shipping, I'll take the loss, take it as a lessons learned, to never get, you know, a bad review or an unsatisfied customer. And like that is where like you see a lot of people fall off, you know, doing things because it is, as much as it's a big community, it's also a small community. Like there's lots of like buy and sell review pages and, you know, it's like I bought from this person and, you know, I had a bad experience with them and, you know, they don't buy from them again.
Really?
Yeah. So it is like people want to see, especially because you're shipping live plants.
Yeah.
People want to know it's going to arrive okay, especially when they're spending, you know, $50 to $100, $150 on a plant.
So is there like a go-to forum or like website or place that people go to like check secretly your reviews?
I think if you are like an avid plant person and you're buying on the online market, there's this like Canada-wide like buy, sell, trade review page on Facebook.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
And you get talked about on there sometimes?
I think somebody has like posted like good reviews. A lot of it, truthfully, is more bad reviews than good.
No.
Unfortunately.
Like it's like you want to avoid being there.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, because like it's like, don't buy from this person, and they're like ranked like, you know, and it's a good page because they want like valid reasoning. It's not just like anybody can go on there and be like blasting this shop, right? It's like you need to provide evidence of why, like showing transactions or showing things. So it's like well managed in that sense.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
really crazy.
Yeah.
So you, in your world, you try to avoid being on that page.
Try to, yeah.
Do you ever like go to your customers, like the ones who like you can tell are like, I've been looking around for this plant, like the ones who are like really into it, and you'd be like, can you go onto that page and talk nicely about me? Or like,
I haven't, truthfully.
It is always awkward to kind of feel like.
I know.
Hey.
I always appreciate like a lot of sales transitioned from the website to Etsy. Unfortunately, like I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It is a very good tool. But obviously, like as a small business, they take fees and things like that.
Of course. So wait, so your whole website is through Etsy? So
No, you can buy through website or Etsy. But Etsy is good because like it requests the buyers to make reviews. And so like there you can see all your reviews.
Right.
Yeah.
So people can buy your plants through Etsy or your website or through...
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Is it the same price across the board?
Etsy's a little bit more to offset some of those costs.
I was going to say, did you just eat a bigger cost for Etsy? But no, you
don't. Try not to.
So try not to.
And I always encourage people. Like I had one buyer, she was like, I'm on your Etsy page, right?
Yeah.
And I said, you're more than welcome to come by on the website as well. You can see all the reviews on Etsy. Like nothing against Etsy. They're very helpful.
Sure.
And they've come in handy so many ways as well. So
the way you've sort of talked about the story from seed to germination to reality feels very like fairy tale. Like everything kind of just worked out.
Yeah.
Were there ever like any like hurdles or challenges?
Oh, there's tons.
Okay.
Yeah, there's days where I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
What do those days look like?
When it's like no sales, you know, first of all, no sales.
That's always a good one to make you question.
You've got rent to pay for, an employee to pay for, you know, and you're in there at like 9 o'clock at night. Like, what am I doing wrong, right? So
those are the days.
Those are the days. You know, and I'm lucky I have like a good partner who supports me and says, you know, it's just a day, it'll get better, right? So
but
that's
there are days like that. So
absolutely.
But like, especially like I find when you're so early on, you're like, this is not even like a fully formed idea yet. Like I'm just kind of like making decisions and figuring them out as I'm making them. There was never a time in that process you're like, what the hell am I doing? Like,
yeah.
But you just kept, you're like, I just
like, because I actually genuinely like, I'm passionate about it. I like it. Like I get joy going in and seeing new plants. I have joy growing and going in the greenhouse and like spending an evening and like watering plants and I'm like, oh, look at the new leaves and things like that. That stuff makes me happy. So for me, it's like, I don't want to give it up.
Because you're already getting joy from it already.
Yeah.
And if you can make a little bit of money on the side.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Now it's a little bit harder because I have the store.
Yeah.
It makes it a little bit more pressure of like...
overheads must be a lot more now.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's been, how many months has it been?
Since December.
Since December. So,
right,
quick math. December, January, February. This is
March.
how I talk to my daughter. Like, how many months?
Let's count it out.
Let's count December, 2. December, January, February, March, April. 5 months.
Yeah.
Wow. 5 months in.
Yeah.
How has it been?
It's going. It's a little slow.
But you kind of open in like the least busy season.
I know.
Right?
And I think like what we're getting feedback wise from people, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And it has been good feedback. And so that makes me like optimistic.
So I guess busy season would be
like spring, summer.
How did you prep? Are you like, I'm going to order 10 times the amount I regularly do?
I think I have to like evaluate and see what happens this kind of spring and see how it goes out, like how it, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a traditional in the sense of like you go to a nursery or an actual greenhouse and you're getting like, obviously springtime's a big time for like seedlings and, you know, like vegetables and things like that. And that's not necessarily our forte. Like we're doing houseplants. So summer might be slow in the sense of like people are outside. So are they buying plants for their house at that point, or they're traveling, or they're like doing summer things? So we'll see how it is.
We'll see how it is.
Yeah.
But you're optimistically moving into the season?
I think, and two, we're really trying to not just be like just a provider of plants. Like we ultimately like want to be like a backbone of like a wealth of knowledge. Like people want to come in and just like get knowledge and education. And so like we're working to do like information sessions and workshops and things like that. We did one workshop and it was like a complete hit. We did a terrarium, terrarium building workshop on a Saturday night and it was packed.
No, at the store?
At the store. We cleared off all the plants, you know, got all these chairs set up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would have probably gone. That sounds so cool.
And people really liked it. And I think like fun stuff to do in Fergus. And so like I'm really trying to like push to have selling plants as like a side, but like the main is just like people want
like create a community of
Yeah.
plant lovers
Yeah.
who love caring for
Yeah.
their plants and learning about
And if you need
them.
advice, if you need someone to come in and repot a plant, if you
Yeah.
need information, come to us and we can help.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I had no idea. While you're sitting there being like,
Yeah.
where's your podcast? And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I'm like, oh, where was your information about this terrarium
True,
builder? So
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's really crazy. I heard that you lost a few plants at the beginning
Yeah,
because of a malfunction.
Yeah.
What happened there?
The furnace.
Oh no.
Because we're like, let's get this place all humid. And it was like the water in town's very hard.
It is very hard water here.
There is no water softener apparently.
At your storefront?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
so how do you water your plants?
I use fish water.
Is fish water good?
Yeah, it's really good. Packed
Really?
with nutrients.
You should make a deal with like the other fish store, like Franca, Fergus Pet Corner. You should build some sort of relationship with her.
Like
Fish
right now I
water
have,
pickup.
my partner's parents have like 5-gallon or huge tanks of like koi fish.
Really?
So they're like giving me all their fish water and I'm like,
no.
yes, they're loving it.
What's plan B? What if the fish die or they don't want to fish?
We'll have some fish tanks in the back. I don't know.
That'd
We'll
be so
see.
cool. You should
I
have
know.
fish in the back. Oh, that'd be
I
so
know.
cool.
Yeah, so
Oh man.
So then we were running this humidifier with the tap water and it was clogging the filters of the furnace. And so it like continuously would shut off and it would shut off and we didn't know why. We didn't know why, so then the landlord had to come in and we were like, that was causing the furnace issues?
Oh my god.
So there was one night we were like, it was like 10 o'clock at night, we're like putting space heaters in every room, trying
Really?
yeah,
Just desperately trying to keep it
keep
warm?
everything alive.
Did you?
So yeah, like most of the plants were okay. There were some that didn't make it, unfortunately, but yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace,
yeah.
plants. Came all the way from Asia
know.
just to die.
I know.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
But like, I guess that sort of thing is natural when you're starting a business and you're trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
Are there any other hurdles that kind of happened when you moved into the space, or?
No, like, I mean, I guess just hurdles of like, oh, I didn't know I needed this, like it's basic things like just like the printer paper ran out on the square machine and I'm like, oh my gosh, like
I need printer paper.
Yeah, I didn't even think about this, right?
Oh my, that's
So
interesting. So now that you've been in 4 months and you're looking to the next forever, like obviously you look sort of long term.
Long term.
What are some of the things? So you already shared about like wanting to create a community.
Yep.
What are some of the things you're looking or hoping to do and accomplish in the next 3 years to
3
set up?
years?
Yeah.
I want to have obviously the storefront as the main people walk by, that's what they see. But 3 years would be like potentially expanding the greenhouse and having it like a dual kind of system. Like I would absolutely.
The greenhouse. So that's the that's on a different location, right?
Yeah. So that's at the farm where we have land and we can have the greenhouse. I would love to get it to a point where obviously I can afford to run the greenhouse all winter because let me tell you, it costs a lot of money to heat a greenhouse in the winter.
Oh my God.
We do have a heater and we've ran it till kind of November to keep plants there longer, but it does get very costly. So potentially finding a way, is there a way we can have a natural heat source that we could still have people come to the greenhouse?
Is that common? Do people have natural heat source greenhouses?
I'm not sure. Like these are things now I go to the larger greenhouses and I'm looking, right?
Yeah.
I look for, okay, what kind of heating system do they have? How is their layout?
Yeah.
How,
because
things.
even the big guys, when I think of plants, I think Terra typically, because we're in Hamilton, there was a big Terra location there. Even they're closed, I think, in the...
They are?
I think, well, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Or at least there seems to be times I drive by and there's nothing on the racks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think of Belgian nursery, okay, they have, but they have to be, maybe they're not open, but there's definitely, they're housing plants because they have their whole cactus, for example. And those are 15-year-old cactuses that have to obviously survive.
And they can't every year just toss them outside.
Yeah, and that's what I want to get to is have this oasis, right? This very nice, warm, inviting green space in the dead of winter.
That would be so cool. And you could almost make an event. The walkthrough, the jungle walkthrough. Yeah, we want to do I know a lot of people want rarer plants, but they don't necessarily want to pay the price once they're all acclimatized. Common, high quality, low cost.
Yeah. So we're looking to do potentially this summer with kind of like a showroom. So we're getting like, we'll collab with potentially like both the Peruvian supplier and the Indonesian supplier. We'll bring in like 150 plants on a, like, you know, a Friday, I'll go pick them up. And then the next day it's like, come on in, you know, and you can see the plant. It comes in its form when it's shipped.
Yeah.
And that's what you get. And you're not paying, you know, that high price of, because like I have to take that risk of, you know, I don't typically, like, I wait, you know, 4 to 6 weeks after they're imported to be selling them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, you've got like your old plan going on. Is your plan eventually to not to make any like decisions for you, but are you sort of like, you'd love to make the plant store your full-time thing? Like you,
for sure. That's always like,
the passion isn't in engineering?
it is. This is the kind of hard spot, is I absolutely love my day job.
How much overlap is there between engineering and plant? None? Or is it like do you see like, you know?
Question.
I don't know.
I don't know. Is there an overlap?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
I know.
Is there,
I'm trying to think. Not.
Because the same way you think about like a project at work, I guess you wouldn't think about.
I think like having that like obviously strengthened like my skills for like business management and, you know, customer interaction and things like that has definitely strengthened it, right?
Yeah.
But I like both in my day job and at the plant store, you know, you have this, you know, talking with people. So, you know, and I like that.
Yeah.
I like that kind of interaction.
Yeah.
So.
And that is a unique experience, I think. Like, I found that, especially in Center Wellington, as you go into like the like locally owned stores, the people who are doing it love what they do.
Yeah.
Whereas like, again, like if I go into a Terra or like a Home Depot and you ask someone about plants, like half the time I feel like people don't know
necessarily.
I don't even care, which is not their fault. Like this is just like a normal job for them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, I don't ask anything, but my wife is asking questions about plants and like they don't really, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whereas I find like people here in Fergus who like are, you know, if they've got a plant store, they love
That's
plants.
their business. That's what they
Their
like.
whole life is plants. Like they just think about plants, you know?
Yeah.
So I get that. Like I see the value and like, okay, like that's sort of what you want to do. Do you think that like the storefront size that it's at, like is the right long-term home, or are you hoping that eventually?
I think like it could get small.
Oh.
Like I would think like to have like a big store would be really cool. But it's perfect for what we're doing right now.
For what you're doing right now.
Yeah, it's totally perfect.
Is being on the main strip like ultra important? Like you would never want to give up that spot.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and it only like, I had almost like no intention. Like, so just prior to finding out about that spot, I had put up a post on one of the local pages just looking for a small space of a storefront to potentially just put some plants there to keep going through the winter.
Oh,
like
you weren't even looking for the whole store.
No. And then my mom drove by and she saw, hey, she sent me a picture for rent. And I was like, I was just looking for, like, I have to investigate, right? So I like called and she's like, I had a couple people interested. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, why not?
Yeah.
It may fail, it may succeed, but I don't know until I try.
Was that like a scary call?
Yeah.
Like from the moment from going from this is just gonna be some plants in some other person's window to I'm just gonna have my own storefront.
Yeah.
How long was that?
It was like within a couple weeks.
Oh my God.
Because I had one person, you know, you can bring some plants here. And then basically it was like a couple weeks later, I was like, we get it in December.
Oh my God.
So it was just like time to put the work in.
Are you would you still be open to putting your plants in stores? I almost feel like that'd be a cool way of
raising
for sure,
awareness. Absolutely.
Have you
I would love to be able to like, here's a plant for your office, here's a plant for your store, here's a plant, and then, you know, it's like advertising, right?
Yeah, it'd be free advertising.
Yeah,
People
free
walk into a
advertising.
place and they'd be
and then they have nice plants.
Free advertising, except for you bought the plant.
Yes.
You were putting it there.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Okay,
aside from that, right?
Yeah, no, it's true. And then I guess like you could even use that as an opportunity to sort of like educate that person about like how to take care of the plant, invite them to your office plant workshops and like have
info sessions or whatever.
Info sessions, there you go. We're going to teach you how to take care of your plant.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I feel like I always let these things go over time.
Where we at?
I think it's like 7:30. 7:35, something like that.
There's 7:31.
7:31. Okay. So the way we've been ending our shows
Okay.
has been with spinning the great big wheel.
Okay.
It's the wheel of big questions.
Oh,
And so what I've been
okay.
asking is that we're both going to look to the camera and we're going to...
Okay.
Hold on. First I'm going to put the wheel up.
All right.
So it can be in the thumbnail.
I have a really bad reflection.
Oh.
Glare. Maybe.
I can pivot the wheel.
Yeah, maybe try a little bit more.
Tell me when to stop.
It's just that all. Oh, actually, perfect. That's perfect.
That's perfect.
All right.
Look at that. And it's facing our guest.
Yay.
There you go. So we're both going to lean in and we're
Yeah.
going to look at the camera and we're going
Okay.
to go, the wheel of big questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So lean in with me. 3, 2, 1. The wheel of big questions. All right. So what you're going to do, pretty self-explanatory.
Spin the wheel.
You're going to spin the wheel.
Okay.
Give it a good spin. I feel
Okay.
like I've had a couple weak spins lately, you know.
Will it tip?
No, this is very heavy.
Okay.
So it'll hold. I can
Okay.
hold it if you're like really scared. And then what'll happen is you'll get to peel back one of the big
Okay.
questions that we have. So
Okay.
give it a big spin.
That was a.
That was a great
That was
spin.
okay?
That was a great
Okay.
spin. Ooh, blue.
Okay.
Mario had blue.
Okay.
No, so go ahead and
Both
peel.
these?
Yes. So why don't you start over here? It's good. It might stick on.
Oh no.
Start over there. You have to get the tape, or if you don't get the tape, it's just gonna do that, which is totally fine.
Oops.
That's okay.
I want to get the tape here.
I know.
Am I like doing something wrong?
No, I think you're doing it right. You've been so methodical about how you're peeling the.
Oh no. Oh.
See, if you get the tape, then it's just easy peasy.
Okay.
Alrighty.
If you could sit down with yourself on day one, what would you say? Day one being?
I guess you get to sort of interpret that the way you want. Day one, your business, first idea.
I would say, what would I say?
What would you say?
I would say like just keep trying and just don't give up. I feel like that's a generic
I
thing
know,
to
this
say.
is so.
But like,
Boo, bad answer.
okay,
Bad answer.
I don't know. That's so tough. These questions stump me.
It's the big wheel of big questions.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I would just say like, for me, it was like always hard to ask for help in general, life in general. But it would be like lean on people more, you know, to help you. Whether it be family, whether it be friends, whether it be, you know, acquaintances. And I feel like people are always packed with different ideas. And I think like that's something like I need to get better at, is asking for those kinds of questions to people. Even like not business people, you know, things like that. Oh, how did you think that was? Or how did that go? Or what do you think?
Yeah.
I would say maybe that.
No, that's great. It's true. It's hard to ask for help, and I find like I don't want to put on you, like, but it's like I find I have a hard time sometimes being like letting go of certain things that I have like very specific ideas about how it should go, and being like, okay, if I get this person to help me, they might not do it in the way that I
know.
want it
That's
to do.
that's I would say like why, like don't be. I'm so particular about some things, but it's for only my things. Yeah. But how do I know that, you know, someone else's idea may be okay for somebody else?
Or even better. Like
better,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like I know that's the thing for me too. It's like you'll be like, you're so driven to be like, oh, it must be
that
this way, and then someone else like you reluctantly will pass it on, and then it actually does like better than you were even anticipating.
Yeah.
Like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
Maybe I suck. You know what I mean?
And like a big thing for me, specifically plants, is like I have this like I like these plants.
Yeah.
But I had to let go of that. I had to be like, people like other plants too. Just because I don't like that plant.
I'll order the peace lily.
So I had to be okay with, you know, listening to what people say and taking that as feedback.
Well, because I think the entrepreneur, their job, and the business owner, their job is not to do everything themselves.
Yeah.
Or they drive yourself crazy, right?
Yes.
Like the job of the entrepreneur and the business owner is to like, I think delegate.
Yeah.
Like I think it's
Delegate,
got
I
to be one
know.
of the biggest jobs.
And like Mia's like, I feel like I'm an empathetic person. I'm like, I can't ask for someone to do, even though like if I'm paying
That's what
somebody,
you're paying, Mom.
but still I'm like, no, I'll do it.
Oh my gosh.
So
that is
having a
so-
little bit more, you know.
I know. I'm entered my ask phase. So Alicia over here, every time I'm like, something has popped up with a client, she'll be like, oh, like this client needs, like said they're going to be filming on this day. We should get back to them. And I'll be like, can you get back to them? Because usually like
Yeah.
I would always be the
Always
one to
wanna
be
be,
like,
yeah.
and I was like, no, I need to like, I can't just do everything or I'll never
Yeah.
get anything new done. And so,
Exactly. Yeah. Put my focus to something that's bigger.
Yep, absolutely.
So.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much for doing
Thank
this
you for
podcast.
having me.
Wasn't as bad as you thought it
No,
was
it
going to
wasn't.
be.
I wish we could talk more.
I
Like
know.
I'm enjoying it. I like going back and being able to like hear myself, right?
This-
The story.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're so like go that you almost stop. You don't even stop to think, how did I get here?
You have to celebrate
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
You have to celebrate yourself.
and celebrate the small wins.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, because let me tell you, no one else is going to celebrate
I
you.
know.
No one's going to be like, oh my gosh, my
Great.
life's busy, but I'm just going to pause my life to
Thank
say
you.
you're
Yeah,
great. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So, no, you have to. No, this is really fun. Thanks so much for doing
Yeah.
this.
Thank you.
Alrighty, one moment. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. If you want to see the full podcast, not just the highlights, make sure to check out our link in bio where you can watch all the podcast episodes of The Early Bird. We've had some awesome guests from Twyla over at the Wild and Free, Mario at Play with Clay, and now today we've had Sarah at Flora Urbana. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
See you next time.